I think we have some slides, please. Yes, thank you very much. We have the major lip diseases represented here: acute inflammations, chronic inflammations, the labiatal disease, the hemorrhagic disease, and of course labial neoplasia. May I have the first slide, please? This fulminating, florid, frankly purulent, putrefying, liquefactive specimen also has some white stuff coming out of his mouth. Here we have, here's a gal with a gumma, which is a chronic inflammation, a scar of syphilis. We all know where that comes from. I think. Next slide, please. There's the gumma unfrozen section. Next slide. Here we have this circasiating, cheesy granulomatous condition was named cystic Swiss cheese labiopathy by some very hungry German pathologists. And the next slide, please. Here we have this grossly hemorrhagic, tomatoey discharge is often seen in Italian men in their 40s. This is known as the ragu lip syndrome. And the next slide, please. Here we have the higher power, the red thrombus. This is not the white thrombus. I think we have a microscopic view. Lights off, please. Just have a little. Here we have the pale eosinophilic strands of the lines of Zahn. And the next slide, please. This is to be distinguished in this putrefying corpse from the post-mortem artifact of the cordicelli appearance of the post-mortem coagulum. And I think now we have some neoplasia. Yes, here. This horrifying excrescence is known as the brachyliform wart, or Verruca brachyliformis. This disease is considered to be sexually transmitted, although in this instance we have no idea how he got it. We have the next slide, please. Here we have the patient has progressed to a Hollandaise grade 4. Fortunately, there are no intranasal metastases. Next slide. Here we have the floret, the floret excised. Next slide, please. The previous condition is to be distinguished very carefully from the more benign, blanched, pale cauliflower lesion, which is a very critical diagnostic conundrum, which I'm sure you'll encounter very often. And the next slide, please. Here we have the fungating lesion, which is seen often in food fetish. This woman had a very high level of kiwi in her blood. Next slide, please. Here we have the hemorrhagic fungus. This responds to hormonal cycling and bleeds every month. Only the tip bleeds. Next slide, please. Here we have the excised lesion. Next slide, please. Now, lights off, please. Microscopically, you can see the grossly anaplastic and pleomorphic spindle-shaped cells. Very, very aggressive tumor. Next slide, please. Here we have the hydatidiform polypoid or polycystic lesion, which looks a great deal like a bunch of grapes. Here it is in situ. I think next slide shows it grows to a very enormous size. And next slide, please. Here we have on section the classic stellate spiculated acidophilic or metlay body, which is pathognomonic, of course, for this condition. And next slide, we have a higher power view. Yes. Here you see the very grotesque and bizarre nuclei, very aggressive, very ugly, very strange. And next slide, please. Here we have an unusual presentation. This calcified nodule is an end-stage anal wart. And I think that's all the slides. And I think we will talk to our patient. We are very fortunate to have with us today Mr. Hewitt. A young man with a very serious end-stage lip disease. How are you today, Mr. Hewitt, and how are those lips? Really very gratifying to hear. Mr. Hewitt contracted this disease from oral fecal contact, which was the result of his classic adaptive medical student behaviors. He is, of course, very ashamed of his disease, aren't you, Mr. Hewitt? Right, very ashamed. Due to the seriousness of his condition, we subjected, or rather offered Mr. Hewitt a lip transplant, and for that we used a xenograft from a parrotfish. Unfortunately, at this point, he's now in hyperacute rejection. Oh, I'm very sorry. My secretary forgot to tell him. At this point, the only option left for Mr. Hewitt is a complete excision of the face, which is really a benign procedure. And if you have any questions for Mr. Hewitt, I'd be happy to answer them.